Welcome to Grateful Connections, What Gratitude Built, the podcast where women in business share the lessons, strategies, and gratitude behind their growth. Here's your host, Malinda, leading inspiring conversations that fuel your growth, spark gratitude, and remind you that you're not building your business alone.
Well, hello again, everybody. I'm super excited today to talk to my friend Kai Cox. I've met her through, of course, my networking journey, and I'm just so excited because she has such a unique story and a unique background and definitely has a lot to share. And she has a company called Awaken Innate Healing. And I would love for you, Kai, to introduce yourself and tell us what your business name is and what you do.
So I founded Awaken Innate Healing a few years ago. I've been practicing as a massage therapist and spiritual mentor for 14 years now. So
Wow.
I've got a few different names. And then, of course, intuition guided me to this because that's my goal with everything that I do. And I do a lot of different things. I like to always be expanding my healing tool belt. But when it comes down to it, I know I'm the person that holds space for others to innately heal. So I like to
I
bring
love
that
that.
awareness and have space for that so that it's very clear, like, you get to do it all for yourself. And I like to say get to so that it does come from gratitude of, "Oh, I have this message I'm receiving and it might be coming up in the body and the physical, the emotional, and I get to explore it." So that's what I
That's
do.
awesome. That's
I am
awesome.
I am a massage therapist. As I said, I am an intuitive alchemist, so I hold space for transformation. I am a spiritual mentor and reader and certified BioTouch instructor.
I mean, that's an insane amount of awesome things. Like, I have a sales background, period.
Hey, we all need samples.
So yeah, that list continues for you. And I love that so much, which is why one of the biggest reasons I want to come on here. And like I've shared on this podcast, literally my thing is I want to kill my own curiosity. Like, I just love that I have a platform now to just ask questions and learn. So, okay, let's break this down a little bit. So I know from our previous conversations, I want to learn about this connection between the massage and your intuitive nature. But let's start with, what did you find first, or what came first? Was it, have you grown up with the intuitive nature and then the massage therapy kind of came in? Because I wouldn't say it's by any means like an odd combination, but it's an interesting one, right? Like, to say like these two things work together. So I would
Yes,
love to know where the merger happened and what is the outcome mean for your patients or your clients?
absolutely. So I am very fortunate and grateful that my mom kept me open to everything growing up.
That's awesome.
So she trained to be a massage therapist, so it
Oh,
runs in blood.
okay.
I'm a fourth generation intuitive, so we were very open about that with the guidelines to stay safe. So,
Okay.
that meant trying to be normal and fit in. And one of my biggest goals as a kid was to be normal. So when I was talking to spirits, I noticed other people weren't talking about how they talk to spirits. So I was like, oh, okay, everyone does this and we just don't talk about it. Like, I can
Mm,
and so
okay.
that was pretty young. I was probably like second grade. And then
Oh,
I just went,
wow.
yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
So then I like shut it down, like be normal. And by high school, I was severely depressed because I was denying a part of myself. And I
Mhm.
find that has to do, if you just are numbing to something, it will boil up in other physical or emotional ways. So whole life been receiving massage, doing different massages. In high school also, I was like, I'm going to be a massage therapist. And I
Mhm.
had friends that are like, no, you don't do that, right?
You're
Like,
right.
go to college, I have that experience. And my mom, again, trying to keep me safe, trying to keep me normal. Like the first time I came out and said, like, I do these things, she's like, okay, gentle, right? Be safe. My mom was like, you're going to run into some situations being a young female doing massage. And I don't think it's time to do that. Like, go to school, do that whole thing.
Okay.
And I was severely depressed at college and had my reawakening to, I've always wanted to be a massage therapist. Like, let's just take one class, right? And then, of course, I
Yeah.
massage therapist and ongoing with school. I'm still getting my bachelor's as a busy working mom.
Okay.
But I know that I went through that process so that I can understand why, as a collective, our human being, shuts down and breaks down and stays safe so that we can talk about that. But then we can rejoice when we have the remembering.
So is there anything you looking back that you would change about that perception of quote unquote normal and what that meant or why with you having to kind of push it down, would you have changed that or how are you maybe going to change that or keep that same message to your children?
Absolutely. I love this question. So, the biggest thing I would change is I used to be left handed and again, trying to have that normalcy. Although I do remember a teacher being like, you shouldn't write with your left hand. And my mom's like, I don't think that happened. Okay.
Okay.
I would have continued writing with my left hand or at least fostered being ambidextrous because I think that's
Sure. That'd be
powerful,
amazing skill. Yeah.
right?
That'd be awesome.
It's something I get to explore in the future. I do want to try to redo my handwriting because right now it is not. I've been told many times I probably should have gone in to be a doctor
All
because
right.
can't write
You can't read
my
it.
handwriting. So with my kids, I am lucky. So my mom explored alternative schools and ultimately I went to public school and I went through the normal system and I had that experience for me. We've decided with our kids we're going to world school so that we don't have to go through that system. Of course, I know
Nice.
you can continue through the system being connected to your intuition. That is always a route for people. But for us, we would just want to be able to travel the world and stay awake. So it'll
That's
be a totally
amazing.
different experience, which is very exciting.
That is awesome. Tell me about being in second grade and having
Mm.
this experience of spirits talking to you or reaching out or you being in tune with that. Like, I don't feel like I have that skill. So, what does that look like or how does it happen and how do you know what it really is? Like what is it tangibly?
Absolutely. So I truly, with all of my heart and all of my soul, know that we all have these clear senses. Back then, I, of
Okay.
course, didn't know them as clear senses. I have explored that for myself, and I believe we have 8 clear senses. So for me, sight and hearing are very strong, but it's the touch and knowing are my strongest. So
Okay.
through the 8, right? I always knew that we had some power in our hands. I remember in that time frame, like writing a song as, little kids just like write random things, right? Being like,
Yeah.
it's all the powers within your hands. And I wish I could find that ridiculous recording.
Oh my God, right? I love that. I mean, that would be so amazing to go back in time or like discover it. But the fact that you kind of remember it even is still
Yeah.
really cool, right?
Yeah, so what I think is most of us have imaginary friends, right? And I've been playing with this idea of are they spirit team? Are they future self doing inner child work and coming to visit? Like all these different options, right? Are they your deceased loved ones? But I know there's something there. And just like you would see the person sitting in front of you, you would see them. And as a
Interesting.
child, we're more open. We haven't closed
Yes.
down to the possibilities.
Interesting. I mean, it's just fascinating to think about because I'm learning so much about just becoming more spiritual or becoming more open minded or learning about these things that other people are so in tune with that I don't know why I don't, but it doesn't feel like it's something that is part of me. So I find it really interesting that you have this belief that we all have access to that. So I would love to explore that more.
Yeah,
So
and
tell
I
me about
know go ahead.
no, no, no. Go. What were
I
you
was
going to
just gonna
say?
say from our conversation, I know that you can't picture things in your mind,
Yeah.
right? So I
It's very
think you
hard.
would be sitting here being like, "I can't picture someone sitting in front of me,"
No,
right?
like,
But
I can't visualize in my mind. I feel like I can't visualize what doesn't exist. So, if I've had a photo or I've been in a situation where we've taken photos, I can recollect what the image looks like. Just I
mhm,
can't see it, but I know innately just what it looks like. But I feel like lately as I've become more aware of this thing, I'll even think about if I've met someone, but I've never taken a photo of them, sometimes I have a hard time just kind of even remembering what their features look like. So
mhm.
yeah, I would definitely can't imagine thinking like literally seeing a person
Oh, I
that
totally
isn't
understand that. I, like,
physically
kinda
here.
have some face blindness too. Like, when clients come in, I'll be like, "I have never seen this person in my life," and then I touch them,
Interesting.
I'm like, "Oh my god."
I know them. Yeah. So tell me about the merger that you have, right? Between, I mean, they seem like two totally different skill sets or parts of you, but you then combine them. So I would love to know, like, what does that mean and what happens when somebody comes in to see you? Does everybody come in saying, I want this combination of a massage and an intuitive reading? Or does some people just come in for you for a massage because they know it's you do that and you're just like, you don't tell them what's going, what comes to you? Tell me about this combination and how does it run in your business?
So when I was first starting off, I would just tell people, they'd be like, "How did you know that hurt?" I was like, "Oh, my hands just knew." Right? Well, my hands were in communication with your body that was telling me the messages that were being broadcasted out. And it was learning BioTouch healing that helped me like bring more awareness
Let's define that. What does that even mean? I don't
of
really understand it. So yeah, BioTouch healing.
Okay, so BioTouch healing is a gentle hands-on healing technique that everyone can do. I've taught my 2-year-old and I've taught up to a 72-year-old, right? And that's just because I haven't experienced with anyone older than that yet.
Okay.
But it's a healing practice that's been around for 35 years. It actually came about when I was conceived, so I think that's pretty interesting.
Interesting. Time frame. Okay. Love that.
Right. There's a nonprofit organization based out of Tucson, Arizona, and then I have the Great Lakes region out here in the Midwest, and then we're a global organization. We have another center in Turkey and practitioners just all around the world. We're currently
Wait,
in
so this is like another business of yours?
well, it's a nonprofit, so it's all
Okay,
me
but it's still another.
voluntary.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. So I'm one of 4 global instructors that can offer
Oh,
CEUs to nurses, massage therapists, and doulas. So it's a fun
wow.
thing, but the beautiful thing is anyone can literally do it. Like, I've been on vacation before where someone was having a full-on anxiety meltdown because she didn't wanna
Okay.
leave. We were in Jamaica, she was having too much fun. And I was like, "Is it okay if I just touch you?" Right? "I'm not gonna give you a full massage right now, I'm not gonna do any of that. Can I just simply touch?" And she could take a breath, and she's like, "What witchcraft did you just perform?" Like, "I can go get on my flight right now." And there's so many stories like that. I'm not the only practitioner that has those kind of stories. It's a whole beautiful wormhole in itself that I invite
Wow.
everyone to explore because it's time for BioTouch to be in everyone's home. So with that, my mentor, Paul Bucky, we were sitting there talking one day. My massage business was 2 doors down. I actually just kind of fell into BioTouch. My mom took the class. She came home, was like, "Kai, this is going to change your life." And I was 20. And I was like, "Okay, mom, like,
Right.
you know,
Whatever. Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, looking back, she has since passed." I'm like, "You did. You knew that it would change my life on so many different occasions." But I was giving Paul a massage and he's like, "Hey, you did the family pack. Are you taking the class this weekend?" And I was like, "Wow, I don't have any clients. I guess I am." And then the rest is kind of just history. So I was sitting there talking with him because he's been a mentor through this whole process. He's like, "What are you doing next?" And I was like, "I'm honing my intuition." I ended up moving cross country the next day. So my
The
fiance
next day.
next day.
Okay.
I had planned to live in Arizona still, or my fiance at the time was moving to Ohio. And I was like, well, it's just a quick 4-hour flight. Like, we can make it work. And then I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to move back home. So I moved in with my dad in Glenview, Illinois. And now I've been here for 10 years.
Well, I saw your cute post with your luggage and you're like, I guess I'm a Midwesterner now.
Living in Arizona, I never thought I'd come back. I thought I would always be by mountains. But, spirit has a plan and I'm just trusting.
You're
And
following
I'm just
along.
so glad to be here for the people like you that I'm connecting with.
Yeah, it's
So
amazing.
that was like the door opening, right?
Okay.
And then everything just kept lining up. Again, my amazing mother was like, "Hey, you're gonna go learn with Sonia Chiquette at one of her large things." And I was like, "Cool, who's that?" And for people that know like the spirit realm, she's pretty well known.
Kind of a big deal, huh?
So I was very fortunate right after I graduated massage school. I learned with Cookie, her sister, who does Lomi Lomi massage, which is spirit guided massage. And then I learned with Sonia and I just kept bringing in all these different tools. And locally, I trained with Lisa Nitskin, so brought in the mediumship and all of that. And it was subtle, like, hey, this is also what I'm doing now, right? I call it like coming out of the spiritual closet because it was a part of me that I was hiding for so long. Because there are
Yeah.
people with different religious backgrounds that are like, I don't know what this is. So
Right.
maybe you shouldn't know,
Scary.
right?
Right. Right.
And then I say the world in a joking, loving way had to shut down for me to finally be like, okay, this is what I actually do because it was COVID.
Yeah.
Like so many of our lives changed. So in 2020, my practice went from completely word of mouth, not having to do anything, just fully booked, to nothing, like
Wow.
overnight and not knowing what that looked like. And I was like, okay, I'm going to trust. So then I brought my work online. And so now I can do the reading part anywhere in the world. If we can communicate the messages that you are looking to have interpreted. And then it just felt natural to implement the two because I'd be working on someone. I'd be like, hey, you want to talk about this time you got thrown from that horse and like your body's still holding on to it? And they're like, no, wait, what?
Right. Whoa. And they don't know that you're an intuitive or like they
No,
didn't know.
that was like the beginning. And the beautiful thing is because when we first met, even this hasn't been the case until recently, I only do intuitive massage and readings. I no longer do the deep tissue, the Swedish. I no longer say like I get paid to think, right? Right
Yeah.
now, I'm simply doing all of it because that's what's exciting for me. And I always do what's exciting because why else would I be doing it? Right. I have two amazing
That
girls and I'm not going to work unless it's exciting.
So I want to dig into that because I mean, that has got to be just this weight of, yeah, like literally coming to the conclusion I'm doing what I want to do. And I would
Mhm.
assume, I'm going to assume, but I would love for you to expand on this. So when you really decided that I want to do it my way, and, obviously some clients may or may not be on board, right? Or, and we all as business owners have to realize we're not for everyone. And
Right.
that's okay. That's totally
Yes.
okay. And we just want to go and connect with and bring into our circles the one that, have our values and believe what we believe. And not to every single extent, obviously, right? But if you're working on clients in the way that you only want to, tell me what the pivot has done for your business. Like, is it growing or is it take a little bit of a pull back before it starts to grow? Like, how did that decision affect your everyday activity?
Well, first and foremost, spirits joking. My full work week is 10 hours a week.
Okay.
Right? I am very clear on what I want because I want to make sure the universe and I are communicating correctly. Because some people be like, I
Wow.
work that in a day. And I'm like, woof, no, thank
I've
you.
been working that and like, yeah, oh my God. I will have to talk offline. Yeah, I've like literally hit my, invisible wall of like, yeah, I can't do what I've been
Right?
trying to do, right? Like it's literally physically impossible.
Exactly.
So I can't even fathom what that would look like, but I would love to hear. Yeah. So how did that come to be?
Well, to that point, I feel like that happens to all of us, right? I was in college and being like, this can't be the way I live. Like, it just simply can't. Like, I'm taking
Right.
classes I don't give anything about. I was an art major at Dayton, and then I went out to U of A, and I was still upset and still miserable. And I was like, oh, I don't really like to be critiqued. Okay, great. Like,
Right.
I'll still learn that, and I'll still have that experience, but like, I don't need to do that professionally.
Yeah.
And so into that, like getting very clear on what you want. So when I opened my space in Northbrook, it brought in so many lessons. It was just last year. And I am so grateful for those lessons because it was spirit guiding me. I signed the knowing that my mom, since she had passed, was on board because my mom had asked, like, can't you just stay home with the kids, not work right now? And I was like,
Aw,
no, I need to be working because it
yeah.
fills my cup. Just like self-care fills my cup, just like being present with my girls fills my cup, just like having one-on-one communication with my husband fills my cup, right? I need to be filled from all these different avenues. And so I went into it knowing, okay, spirit's guiding me here, but that doesn't mean it's going to be like the most amazing thing ever, right? We
Right,
can
because you're
learn.
not led to perfection, right? Like I would
Right.
imagine there's lessons for all of us that are
Absolutely.
meant to be.
So often spirit comes in and says, you were born perfect, my darling, and you still are. Forget the idea of perfection because perfection and perfect are very different. You can show up and just simply be you and be present, and you are absolutely perfect.
Uh,
So that's what I get to do, right? I'm just trying to build back the word of mouth because I went into COVID doing that. And then I had 2 babies, right? So getting the clients back in was like a fun, exciting thing. Like, hey, I get to see you again and all that jazz.
Yeah.
But it wasn't filling my cup. So I was like, it's time to reevaluate. And spirit made it very clear when I was supposed to get out of my space because I had the thought drop in within 48 hours. I had someone to take over my space. I had a new space lined up and I got to go on vacation the next day.
That is so amazing.
And
I
that's
absolutely
so
love
when I
that.
when I talk about alchemy, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the transformation from ordinary to extraordinary because I truly believe every single moment can be extraordinary if you're open and ready to be in awe and be like, "Hey spirit, what do you have for me?" Like, "I'm open, I'm listening. Let's do this together."
That's awesome. So what would your definition be of, oh my gosh, I just blanked on the word. I just told you how my brain is like losing words, but you just said
What's
the,
spirit saying?
yeah, what it, can the spirit just say the words, like spit them out of my mouth for me? But when you were talking about when you are at Alchemy and it is the, what word did you just say?
Extraordinary.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So what's the definition of extraordinary? Oh, yeah, I'm losing it. But anyway, what would that, how would you know that you're feeling extraordinary or that you are? Like, what does that mean?
So I like to look at it as like ordinary, right? You could be going on a walk and you could see a flower and you'd be like, that's a flower. I've passed by that same flower a dozen of times this season. Like, great. But the extraordinary would be like, I've passed by this flower a dozen times and it's never grabbed my attention before. Like, let's zoom in. Let's really see it, right? Capture that moment. And I know that
Mm,
speaks to you because you're a photographer and you know how to capture those moments. And it just brings you into present moment. That's the extraordinary. Like
okay.
nothing else matters in this moment. My mind's not doing the 100 other business things that I need to be doing, nor the grocery list or what we're doing for dinner. It's simply breathing in and it brings me back. The most recent experience I had was this beautiful red flower and like the yellows in it and just taking note of all of it
Mm,
and just being like, wow, this is extraordinary. Like life itself is extraordinary.
yeah.
Something created that.
I set a reminder on my watch. So every
Mhm.
hour, and it's not perfect. Sometimes it's, I just blow it off because I'm used to it now. But I really am trying to, like, every time it dings at me on the hour, to take that moment to breathe and kind of get
Yeah.
back to the off autopilot that we all tend to probably get into on a regular basis. You know that my biggest passions, obviously, as you probably know, is I just really, really love seeing women follow their dreams, follow their passions, feel fulfilled, get out of their own way to joy and happiness and success and all those fun things. And so I would love to hear if you have any examples of, obviously not with names or anything, or ways to call people out specifically, but based on your healing touch and your intuitive nature, what are some stories, or if you have a couple stories that are like, I saw this big change in this woman, or this woman followed her passion or her dream, or had this aha moment. Can you come up with an example or two of some cool things that you're like, wow, I really got to help this woman be this or do this or find this or
Yes, absolutely. So a few people jump in, and one of the biggest life lessons is this idea of I don't have to question myself, right? So I have a client where we meet monthly, if not twice a month, just to kind of like go over what, progression they're making. Oftentimes, when people meet with me for a reading, I call it sitting down with your spirit team. So I'll be the interpreter so that you can have this conversation with your higher self for your highest good. And it's nice to have that conversation, right? To have that, hey, someone is there invested in what I'm saying and cheerleading me the whole time. So the person that went from, I only can do this small little job because I am a mother and I have these things, right? Work, work, work. I look back on the 5 years we've been together, which, wow, I haven't thought about it, how it's 5 years, and just think, she now works for herself. She sets her own hours. We recently was like, what does it feel like to get paid this amount per hour? And at first she's like, no, that's outside. And I'm like, no, but what does it feel like? Right. And so finding that freedom and finding what truly brings you joy, because it's not based on what others are doing. It's what aligns with you. Someone might look at my prices and be like, whoa, that's not what people charge for massage. And I'm like, great. because I'm not
Right.
doing massage.
That's huge because I mean, gosh, if I'll answer my own question that I'm going to ask you at the end of this podcast. But one of the things that I would choose if I was waving my magic wand on around and could wish this for women, it's like know your value. I
Yeah,
mean, that's a bit. I hope I didn't steal that from you, but it's literally just like, yes, know your value. And Kai, that's amazing. That's exactly how you should see this, right? Like,
right.
I do something different that most people can't do. And your ideal client, if they can't pay it or don't see the value in it, well, then the service you're offering also won't be as appreciated. Or,
Right.
it's like you want the person who's invested to be fully invested. So I love that. I think that's a really important nugget for sure.
And to that point, so I have a very new client where she did like a 20-minute reading with me. And I was like, okay, that was nice. Like I can see transformation, right? So her transformation looked like smiling. 13 years of pain and suffering. And through our
Uh,
conversation, just 20 minutes, she could smile. Like, oh, there's the hope back again. Right. And I was like,
wow.
there's a chance I might never see her again. And that's fine. That's beautiful.
Right.
And then out of nowhere, she books a 2-hour intensive with me. And I'm like, whoa, like, hey, it's you again. How exciting. And she walked in and I was like, well, she actually looks kind of different. Like she walked in smiling. Like, how exciting is that? She's sitting up a little bit higher. And then by the end of it, I was like, I will never see the person that walked into my office
Wow.
again because that person doesn't exist anymore. She no longer brings in her because she brought in her list of symptoms. And I was like, do you want to keep carrying this forward? And she's like, no. I'm like, great, burn it, right? It safely.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like start a fire,
Right.
but burn it. No longer carry this story. A big part of what I wish for women is to see you don't have to carry the story. You don't have to, if you go a step deeper into it, be the victim. And that applies for anyone, right? You don't have to
Yes.
be the victim because you are the creator of your own life. So there
Yep.
are stories we bring to keep us safe. There are stories that simply there and set limitations. Okay. Do you want
Amazing.
to bring them with? And if it's
Right.
a
And I
no,
just don't,
get rid of it.
right. But people don't know how to do that. Or, they only know what they know.
Mhm.
And I've had so many conversations with people coming out of narcissistic relationships or toxic and dangerous ones. And, it's just so hard to think about because unfortunately the sad, bad things sometimes are the comfort that they seek because they know it. And so when you can make a transformation on somebody who literally was not able to actually smile, I mean, gosh, that's like the best quality that a person could have, right? To just show joy and appreciative. So for you to be able to make that impact on her, that sounds literally amazing, Kai. I love that so
Yeah.
much.
And it's funny because that actually connects back to like my second grade story. In first grade, my teacher went on and on to my mom. I remember this walking down the hall and being like, Kai has the biggest smile I've ever seen on a student, right? And like all this thing to jump to fourth grade where my drama teacher was like, you smile too much. Like, we're going to like pretty much break this out of you. I'm not
What?
going to go into like what exercise she got you
Right.
to do, but it was pretty terrible to have a fourth grader do that because they smile too much. So that's part of my
Oh,
story because, yes, life is heavy sometimes. Things are big, but I like to look at it as like even these really hard things can be soul contracts because as a soul, like learning lessons is learning lessons. There isn't good or bad lessons. You're learning lessons, right?
right.
So I learned it doesn't matter what someone else says. Like I'm going to keep smiling. And if I can invite someone else to smile too, like, great,
Yes.
we can do this
Right.
together.
Yeah. And you do have a beautiful smile. And I'm sure you get compliments on it all the time. I mean, you really do because it is very natural to you. And it is, yeah, you are just a very joyful and amazing person to be around. And I've just, well, it's true. And I obviously love to surround myself with people like that. Right. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, our
yeah, I just,
vibrations resonate because we both do that, right? You bring your smile to the world, you bring your joy, you bring your gratitude. We both
yeah,
show up in the vibration of gratitude,
yes.
and that can be felt easily.
Well, dang, Kai, you got me right to this perfect transition. Although I think I'm going to have to, I'm trying to keep these things to about 30 minutes, but I a million percent want to have a whole nother conversation with you to dig deeper on some of these things because I am insanely fascinated and I just know you have so much to share.
Yeah,
And
I think
the
we
more
could
I
go
can,
talk just on what's a spirit team, right? We like touched on it here.
Can
But
we?
we're like,
Yes.
is that?
Yes, 1,000,000%. We are going to schedule a whole separate call and we are going to have that conversation because I am so curious. So, yes, absolutely. We will be talking a bunch more about some of this stuff because it's so
Yay.
fascinating to me. But that transition to gratitude is actually kind of perfect. So, I truly, when I came up with the name of Grateful Connections, in my soul, I truly am grateful for every connection I've made in my journey of networking and talking to business owners and meeting so many people. And with gratitude being a big part of your journey as well, how do you engage gratitude into your life?
Well, first, we're jumping here, so I'm going to say it. I think true gratitude can come in is when the heavy things, the scary things, the hard things, we can find gratitude in those. Like me losing my mother, who I've mentioned here many times. Like I can
Yes.
still find gratitude in her journey or my dad's journey right now. There is still gratitude, just like on the heaviest days, we can still have things to be grateful for, which
That's huge.
I also know being in the cycle of confusion, since that's what grief brought in for me, and that's also what I work on with other people, is sometimes it can be hard to find these things. So I do a practice of letting the light in, right? So
Okay.
in the morning, it's either me or it's my girls opening the drapes or my husband. And we open the drapes, we let the light shine in on our face, on all of our eyes, third eyes included, and then say 3 things we're grateful for.
Every
And
day
every
with
single
your
day.
family?
Yes, every
My
single
heart is just like bursting right now. That's so beautiful to teach your kids that at such a young age.
yes, yeah, it's so, like, when people are like, "Oh, we have this early meeting," I'm like, "Well, first I need my cuddles, and then we need to do gratitude, and then we need to have a slow breakfast." I can't make it.
Priorities.
Yeah,
And
I
that you'd
don't
literally jump on that. I mean, Kai, oh my God, I'm so in love with you. This is amazing.
and I wanna
Those
jump
girls
back
are so lucky.
I love them so much, and they love it too, which is great. I wanna jump back. I don't even set an alarm. The only time I'll set an alarm is if we have an early flight or, like, there's an early morning where there's no way around it, right? Because I don't
Yeah.
wanna be jarred out of my sleep. That's
Yeah.
not how I wanna that's not something I'd be grateful for, so I'm not gonna do it. So, in that
Love that.
practice, now I say we do it every single day. Do we have some fast mornings? Sure, but
Yeah.
that's what's beautiful about opening up the drapes because when you walk into the room and you're like, "Oh, it's dark in here." I forgot to open up the drapes, right? It's a gentle reminder. It's not
Yes.
this, gosh, I haven't said what I'm grateful for in 3 days, and now I'm in this shame cycle because that doesn't help you, right?
No.
It's a gentle reminder of, oh, now I get to be loved in the vibration of gratitude so that I can, what's coming out is ooze that out to everyone, which I've never used that word
Yes.
before in my life. So thanks, Spirit.
But but it's a good descriptor, like oozing gratitude. I mean, come on, that's a that sounds really good. But I will say, okay, so every day, because my husband is a late sleeper or wakes up and then TikToks for a long time. Let's just say that. But I get up, I'm the early morning, and I open the drapes every day. And I 1,000,000% I'm stealing it. I mean, that
Yay!
is such a perfect time and a reminder and a moment because it's the beginning of the day. And I love that. I'm stealing
Yay!
it.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. And if that
Yes.
speaks to you, I actually have an 11-day intuition and everyday magic program that's free out there for everyone. Like, hey, this is the things I do. Like I also say, Spirit moved me today for my highest good and my highest good only, so that I know messages that are coming in are simply for my highest good, right? All those little things where it's like, oh, I can do this too. Oh, that didn't, take any time away. It's
I
just
love
part of
that.
the day. You're gonna be opening the drapes to see what's outside for the weather anyways. So,
Right.
yeah.
Well, whatever resources you have that you want to share, we'll absolutely include that in our notes here and share that with people. So oh my gosh, that gratitude practice is literally beautiful and I'm taking it. So excited. Now, my other question that I kind of jumped ahead on my own, if you could wave a magic wand, like my passion is to see women succeed in their goals
Mhm.
and just to find true, genuine happiness, right? Because unfortunately, a lot of us just take on so many pressures and things and we're working for other people. So if you could wave a magic wand and help women in their business journey, what would wish be from you?
That wish would look like come forward, step forward into your business from the vibration of love. So if there's something you're doing in your business that you don't love, okay, does that thing first and foremost have to be done? Right? Because in my eyes, nothing has to be done. It gets to be done. And if there's something that I'm just like, I can't do this. Okay, I say, universe, spirit, bring someone in that can do that for me, right? How can that be accomplished, get out there, and it doesn't feel like it's weighing on me? Because there's enough
Yeah.
things weighing on us in this world that
Right.
we don't need to add to it. So I simply say, follow your excitement, your greatest level of excitement to file it. And file it. That's interesting that came up, but follow it anymore and then see what comes in next. So
Okay.
often we're like, this is what I do in my business. And then it starts to get rigid and it
Yeah.
starts to be like, oh, is that right? So follow the
Right.
messages. If it's starting to feel heavy in your body, well, it's time to evaluate. So hear the messages that your body's already giving you because your team, your body, your emotions, everything is speaking to you about life, love, business. It's all the same,
Yeah.
right? So we should have that passion for every single thing that we're doing.
Dang, I love this. All right. Well, we're going to be scheduling like the 2.0 here very soon because I want to ask like a million more questions and learn, especially about the spirit team because I'm very fascinated by that. But Kai, like share your website and where we can find you and what sources you want to share. And then we'll wrap it up and then we will schedule our second call.
Absolutely. So I am awakeninnatehealing.com. So it's Awaken Innate Healing on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube is Kai Cox Intuitive. I invite you to find those free resources. I record meditations, sound healings, just different talks. Because working with
Amazing.
me one-on-one is how I'd love to work with you. But if that's not in the energetic vibration just yet, do a free resource, join my monthly gathering, do what you can do right now and let's create some magic together.
All right, my friend. This has been very fascinating and I can't wait to talk to you more. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank Oh, this was a wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
If you enjoyed this episode, I would love for you to subscribe so you never miss a conversation. You can find me at gratefulconnections.com, join our private Facebook group, Grateful Connections, and follow me on Instagram at gratefulconnections_CO. Sharing is an act of gratitude, so please pass this along to another woman in business who inspires you.
We're so grateful you joined us on What Gratitude Built. We grow stronger when we grow together. So stay connected, stay inspired, and let gratitude lead the way in your business and your life.